Mehmet Karamanoglu from Middlesex University, and has been charged with running the mechatronics competitions. So I'm officially the national training manager for this particular competition. I've been doing it for a while. So what I'll try to do is to explain to you briefly and introduce what this competition is about, and try and alleviate some of the queries you might have at this point in time. If I just go to the next, so that's I've done myself, so that's done. In terms of the competition itself, it is offered at two different levels because it has evolved over time, and we can now address different levels of the skills that we test and encourage to develop. So it's offered at advanced level, which sounds advanced, but it's actually the introduction level for us. So we start with competitors who are expected to be working at level 3 as a benchmarking, and then continuing their training and fields that relate to mechatronics. And on the higher level, we're looking at people who have either been through the advanced level and the national level and have achieved a certain competency, which we'll be happy to see in the higher level, or if you're coming from fresh, then we'll expect you to demonstrate your competence working towards level 4. There is one thing that you might need to be aware here, is that when the heats and registrations take place, you will be in one academic year if you're studying. When the competition takes place, it will be in the following academic year, because it normally is November of the same year, which is, in terms of academic years, it's in a different academic year. So you should be looking to see where you will be in September or October, that time, when you're judging yourself to be in level 4 or level 3. Any queries, do contact, get in touch with us, and we can clarify that. But as a guidance, we're looking for level 3 or level 4 competencies, unless you've been involved with the competition and achieved a high level of competency, which will then be eligible to go into the higher level, even if you are not currently studying for level 4. In terms of what skills you will need, the skills that we'll be testing are based around largely 4 areas. So designing and building equipment that uses pneumatic or electropneumatic circuits. Some of those will be controlled by a PLC. The PLC sort of integration is used largely for sequential control tasks, but there are some non-sequential tasks involved. But in terms of how we will assess you, we will look at what the PLC will be controlling rather than the PLC code itself. We don't not check the PLC code, we only check what the PLC code does. But we'll be expecting you to be familiar with standard components that comes within the sphere of pneumatics and electropneumatic components. You'll be involved in mechanically assembling some of the equipment that will perform a particular task. You might also be given a currently configured system and asked to modify it and add other functions to it or operations to it. And we'll also look at, in terms of as a professional technical engineer, how you're dealing with the skills that you have and the general work of practice and professional practice in particular. So if you're working in the sphere of mechatronics, which could be quite different, various sectors, could be automotive, could be food processing, it could be pharmaceuticals. There's a very large sector that employs mechatronic engineers that use these skills. What the event might look like, I mean, this is a picture taken from the advanced level. This is two students from Sheffield UTC who took part last year, and this is the second day of the competition, where we're looking at in terms of electropneumatic configurations. We use Festo equipment as the standard kit, and these are provided by the company. You could be training on other manufacturers' equipment as long as they are standard components that you would recognize as pneumatic or electropneumatic parts. On the higher side, we start with the similar equipment to what we use on the advanced level, but we quickly switch over, particularly on day 2 of the competition, switch over to modular production systems, where we do some of the mechanical assembly as well as electrical and tubing. And then obviously it has to be followed by some programming tasks that will make the system operational. And what you see in the picture is a team that took part in the UK final last year that are looking in terms of working an MPS stations provided by Festo company. This is also a picture. There's quite a large teams involved last year, and then yeah, we try to make it fun and then get people to know each other. So we run the competitions at both levels in the same place, using similar equipment. You have your own set of equipment, but also you get to meet people like you, your age competitors from different organizations, different walks of life. Some could be in UTCs, some could be in FE colleges, some could be in universities, and many are also in working as apprentices. So you get to meet all these people, but the event itself, I mean, this is the UK final, but we start with the local heats, the regional heats, which may happen in one of the 3 regions you'll see on the website. So you get a small number of people, but when you get to the stage where you're in the UK final, then it is a big event. And this competition also has become reasonable size, so you'll see quite a wide-ranging young people from various sectors that you'll spend 3 or 4 days with. Well, how do you get involved? What are the stages? Well, there are 5 stages typically. You will need to look at the information available on the website and look at the guidance and the information provided on the webs. Have a look at those and see if you are interested in terms of what the discussion of the competition is in more detail than what I've presented, as well as look at the guidance in terms of how do you qualify, how many teams from your organization can enter. But the main thing is that this is a team competition, so you'll need a partner. So there has to be 2 of you entering, and once you're interested, then you just put your name forward and you go through the online registration, which opened on 1st of March 2016, and then it will then close on 7th of April later on next month. Once you're registered and we have the closing dates, then we will go into allocating you to one of the regional heats, and you'll hear from us in terms of what will be the next step. But in terms of the process, you will perhaps look at the competitor preparation resources, which will be a folder that you'll be sent in terms of a link to on a Dropbox. In there will be other useful information that relates to particular regional heats that you'll be invited to participate. Following that step, we then turn up at the regional heat. You have a go. This will be a 1-day event. We do similar tasks that you would do on day 1 of the UK final. So we'll give a taste of what's going to be coming of it, but and we'll also use that event to assess the competency levels of that year's intake, a potential intake for the UK finals. We will go through the heats. It is not an event where you come and you get punished. It's an event where you come and you are supported to take part and enjoy the day and learn something, whatever you score. So come with intentions to learn something new that you didn't know before. And then hopefully you'll also score reasonably high level that you'll be invited to take part in the UK final. So I can't tell you at what score you have to achieve at the moment, but you need to get a reasonable score, which should be hopefully about 50%. Then we'll then rank all the teams. We have a limited capacity at the UK final. We typically take about six teams, top 6 in the UK, and But if we have to take 7th because they're so close, then we will. So we're not that rigid on that case, but typically expect the top 6 to be at the UK final. And but if you don't end up in that, you will enjoy the day, you will learn quite a few things, and then you'll be quite entitled to try again. So it's a supportive environment. I know it's a heat, it's a competition, but as I said, there are limited places that we can take people into the UK final. Stage 5. So I think roughly explain what that will be. You'll get your scores. You'll be emailed those with feedback sheets, and then provided you qualify, you'll be invited to take part in the UK final, which will take place in late November in 2016 at the Birmingham NEC. Well, once you are committed and you take part in the heats, and let's say you're invited to the UK final, what I would suggest you do that you reread the brief, look at the competition rules again, and have a go at some of the test papers that we would make available. There are some already available on the generic website, which you see on the screen, WorldSkills UK.org. And if you look at the competitions area under Mechatronics, you will see some of the test papers. I mentioned that there will sort of be a drop box specifically for competitors rather than general public, that we will also give you some guidance and help and how to prepare for the event, and possibly release further test pieces and maybe the solutions for the heats that you took part. So it all depends on how you engage and how you participate, and we'll respond to demands. You will need to manage your times. So the event itself is time limited, so that each task has a particular time duration that you need to complete it. And then we will give you the task. We'll also give you the scoring sheet, so you know how much effort to put into which part of the task itself and what you'll get. The judging also takes place with your participation. You'll be present, how your work is assessed, and judges will ask you to clarify some of the areas which are not clear, and then you'll be shown the exact mark that you'll be given for that particular task. So it's a very transparent process, and it's fair, and you will enjoy your time there. Now, I just asked that if we do come to a stage where you'll be to take part in the heats or the national final, you turn up on time, because we don't want to delay the events or the day. If you need to get in touch with myself or with the organizational center, Sector Skills Council, there's an email for both myself and the phone number for center as well as myself. Any queries, just ask. If it's specific to the competition, ask me directly. If you would like your sponsor, your employer, your training organizing partner, then you could ask them to contact me on your behalf. I would recommend highly that if you're working for an employer, or studying, you do tell your teachers, or you tell your line manager that you're entering or you'd like to enter. You can ask them to enter you on their behalf. And then they also come along to support you on the day. So it is much better, and I would like very much that the employers or sponsors do come with their competitors, because there are benefits for everyone involved. And talking about benefits, so just a sort of list of the benefits that are given for individuals as competitors, for the organizations, as well as the staff involved. I mean, I benefit by writing tasks. I don't judge them, but I'm there in case there is a query. I always use independent judges, and so far we've been using the international training managers for different countries that take part in the judging, which is quite fair. Because I often have teams from my organization, and it is interest biased. So I do not take part in the judging, but I do advise on what it was intended in the task. And I'll do the briefings, and I issue the tasks to you at the event. you should look at this as a part of your development in your careers. So it's a chance where you are offered almost free training, but the cost to you is time and dedication and further work. But I think that you should see it's not as a cost, but as a benefit to your development and individual development. And you'll actually get a lot of satisfaction out of it, it's personal satisfaction, that you're going to be one of the very few people who are able to demonstrate their skills at the national level that is recognized by the world. And that is something that will be quite significant on your CVs. And when you go for job interviews, you can talk about your experience, the journey that you'll go through, and the fantastic people you've met on the way. So take the opportunity, look at the task, and if you think that you are remotely interested, put your name forward and sign up, and we'll see you around May time. Thank you very much. Just leave it here. One last thing, I think, is slides that we do get sponsorship for this event. I mean, without the sponsors, this wouldn't happen, particularly for Festo, to providing all the equipment. So the equipment you'll use is brand new. It is provided specifically for the competition. And without Centre's organizational support, this would never happen anyway. So thank you to Festo and also to Centre. And for WorldSkills UK to put everything under one roof and make it an interesting event for the benefit of young people like yourselves. Thank you and see you later on.